Okay, it's Thursday, February 9th. This is an end of the day SPY recap, and today we end up on the daily chart with a kind of an inside bar, two up failure, where price kind of started out right near the highs of the previous day, but went below the pre-market range pretty quickly at the open, got to the halfway point of that bar, took out those the other end of the range, the low of yesterday's bar as anticipated. There was a slight pause there when we couldn't really rally back up through the range. We went down to the next target and we closed just short of these two lines here, the red line and the yellow line. More importantly, the yellow line, that's where the month turns red. Although, quite frankly, it's just, still green. It's still two up. We're looking at a potential failure on the month on an inside bar. So if we continue lower here through the, as the month goes on, especially relatively soon, and hit the halfway point, maybe we'll get to the bottom of this month as well. Similar to the way, we took out the halfway point of an inside bar and went to the bottom of the range. But there's still time to go, and maybe we're just probing down here and we'll hold. And what we'll know more is kind of into next week. I presume, if we go up a little bit tomorrow, then this bar is just going to be sort of neutral. If we go down again, it might look like a shooter bar, but it's still, unless we really collapse, likely to be an inside bar. And when you have an inside bar after all this move up, that's kind of almost expected in a way. And at that point, you're going to look for maybe a failure on the weekly chart. Maybe we'll close near the lows of the week. We'll start down early in the week, but fail to even hit that target here and then start up again into next week. So it's really just an inside bar. And actually, with that, the reason we've had some choppy trading this week, and I can go over day by day, including today, what the easy trade was. I mean, even though we're chopping around, it's still pretty straightforward trading when you look at how price opens in the opening range. So anyway, if you look at we went down, we had that shooter bar to end the week after kind of exhaustion risk. So we went down a little bit, but we didn't follow through all that much. Then we kind of immediately went up. Then we had that was Fed day. We went up and down, up and down. I'll show you. Then after the green bar, we actually just went down a little bit, but we stayed inside. Then we gapped up today, but then we went down. So we're just chopping around in this area. And you can see here, first of all, today, it was very clear that you didn't get the opening up bar over the overnight range between the blue lines. You started after two bars, you went down, and on bar number 4, you broke down below the low. So I bought some puts here. I shot a video on that. You can look at it. We reached our target and we reached another target. And it went down all day long. But in terms of the day, the week, like you could see, it was choppy here, but it didn't really follow through. Then you had an opportunity because you were in that failing mode or uptrend. Once it failed to really go, there was a pre-market range down here that it couldn't break through. I remember buying calls here before the Fed. Then you had all that crazy choppiness. You end up strong. But yesterday was a day actually to go short again a little bit, given the opening price action. And on this day, we actually gapped down and went short. On this day, we gapped up, but still went short. And again, it was all opening price action relative to the pre-market range. And you can see that clearly here. You get the pre-market range. You get, we don't go anywhere higher near the open or after the first bar. And if anything, we break down. And that's why, it was pretty, it was like a chain reaction to go to the midpoint of that day, to the bottom of that day, and then obviously all the way to the next target. So it's very possible we're just broad. This is a 3 bar. So now there's no real actionable signal tomorrow. We'll find out if we get a 3, maybe a 1-2 or a 3-2 down, 2 up. We'll know that into next week. But at least for tomorrow, it wouldn't be surprising to be chopping around in this zone again, maybe to test that low and then maybe come up and not have such a terrible close to the week. I mean, we're in chopping mode right now. So I'd still go short, tomorrow if we get the opening price action and see if we get a 3-2 continuation. But I would be, again, pretty nimble because we're getting to an area where we just really took in, out this gap. So we're kind of filling that area in. And it's hard to say if you're going to get strong follow through. You'd give it a shot, but just know that we're in a choppy environment. If it doesn't go your way immediately, you got to get right out. And if we get some kind of failure and start up, maybe it's a opportunity to go long and just kind of close the week relatively neutral, coming into next week with an inside bar. So anyway, that was today. It was pretty straightforward in terms of how to trade it. Great easy opportunities to the downside, and we'll just have to see how the week ends tomorrow.